was the whole punk show, was that a setup or was that real, or did you know what was going on, or what's the deal with that?
Yeah. So, I'd just done Cribs, so my introduction with MTV.
Cribs?
Yeah. At that time I did Cribs, and the producer that was doing Cribs was also, I think it was like season 2 or 3 they're working on of Punked. And he approached me, when we were doing Cribs, he's like, hey, I got this project. I'm going to reach out to you in a couple of weeks. I'm like, yeah, cool, whatever. I was super jet lagged when I did Cribs, so I wasn't even paying much attention to the situation. So the dude hit me up a couple weeks later. He's like, we're about to start shooting season 3 of Punked. And like, that's when it was just like, in a frenzy. He's like, would you be down to do it? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. He's like, I got a great idea where I want to have you and Pink at a restaurant, and a woman comes walking by like 7 months pregnant, and she's like, oh, Carey, I've been trying to track you down for like 7 months. I'm like, fuck that. We are not going with that deal.
You want to see her whoop this bitch's ass right now?
Or it'd be a crime scene. She'd stick a fucking butter knife in my neck. So I actually pitched them on the concept of what we did, which was like a bunch of stolen motorcycle parts. I mean, ironically now that, working with Indian doing motorcycles, but yeah, it was, the concept was, she was coming to Vegas to hang out with me for the week, and we already had it planned for a few months. And she shows up at my house. I live in a cul-de-sac, and I'm in the back of a cop car, and there's just tons of motorcycles and motorcycle parts all over my driveway. And the police officer approached her, actually, which I think it was Dax. I think Dax Shepard.
I think it was, yeah. It was before he was Dax.
Yeah,
like, yeah.
I think he was the cop. And it was like, yeah, ma'am, do you know this guy in the car over here? She's like, yeah, that's my boyfriend. Why, what's up? She's like, yeah, we just busted him for stealing and selling motorcycles. And is your name by chance Alicia Moore? Because your name is on a lot of this paperwork too. So I like pulled her into it, and it was rough. And it was right. And the tough part about that, not tough part, but the part that it was like the gift that kept on giving. For, that show came out, say it came out 4 or 5 months later, for like the next year and a half, when people approached Alicia, maybe 3 times out of 10, it wasn't like, oh, are you that girl that does Get the Party Started? It was like, oh, you're that girl from Punked. And she was just like, fucking really?
Sweet. This
like,
is what I'm known for?
Yeah, I'm busting my ass making music, and you know me for some trash show that my boyfriend talked me into? Sweet.
It's a unique dynamic though with TV back then, because it was a lot more impactful than what it was today. Like if you're on a show today, you might be on some Tubi streaming show, maybe 5 people see it.
Yeah.
Tubi's dope, don't get me wrong. Hopefully Tubi doesn't kill me for that comment. But I just mean different. Like there's so many different platforms now. And Tubi does actually produce a lot of movies. What a horrible example I use, because a lot of my friends have movies on Tubi. So, but leave this in the clip just so they know I'm real. But you were also on that episode of Life with Ryan, right? You did some stuff with Ryan?
Yeah, I did a little bit with him.
Were you guys friends because of Steve?
Yeah. The first time I met Ryan, I think he was 10 years old at Woodward. He had like a busted arm and was skating. And Steve signed him shortly after that. And I can say this just because me and Ryan are good enough friends, as me being the elder and through Steve's stable of athletes, I was always the one when anybody stepped too far out of line or was having a little bit too much fun in life or getting, out of whack. I would sit them down and give them the McDonald's speech that Steve couldn't get them. Oh. So like when Ryan was doing Life of Ryan and I mean, it's no secret. He talks about like blowing the roof off and getting into booze and stuff too much. I had to do like a couple of sit downs with Ryan, be like, all right, dude, come on, get it back on track, get it out of your system and just get locked down, get focused again.
Hart was like all of our big brother.
What an incredible like legacy to have. Cause that's like all action sports icons. You have Ryan Sheckler, you have Twitch, and like, you're like the guy they look towards as the North Star.
It's like I said, for me, I appreciate that compliment, and I appreciate all the friendships that I have through freestyle motocross. I mean, really the friendships are like the most important part of me. And I'm like, people ask me all the time, like, what's the best part of your career, your most memorable part? And it's pretty easy and lazy to be like, oh, it was a backflip or whatever. But for me, it's like the friendships that I had and the timing of it, because truthfully, like, I think we can both admit this, we were in such a special time and timing of it. I couldn't imagine being a 19-year-old, 20-year-old freestyle motocross kid trying to get in the game right now with the trick list you have to learn.
It's insane.
But also still being around motorcycling, whether that is still kind of dipping my toe into freestyle motocross or just being around the scene still, like that's the thing I'm the most proud of.
Yeah, pretty rad.